Всем привет, с вами Ято, и мы продолжаем наше прохождение игры Вампир. За кадром я таки сбегал к Доротее и прикупил недостающий нам рецепт, который нас так неплохо спасет в ближайшее время. Хотя спасет он, конечно, не совсем нас, но, по крайней мере, позволит избежать части проблем. Также попутно избавился от небольшой части занудных разговоров.
Evening, Edgar. Could I get your professional opinion?
Please speak, but I have something important to tell you.
This strain of flu, it's very different from the one I saw in Europe. It's downright peculiar.
Really? What makes you say that?
I've just looked at the blood of one of our recently deceased.
I see. Do you have anything more to go on?
This disease spreads and looks like the Spanish flu, but its effects differ greatly. The London strain is different from the continental one.
This is very interesting. Did you find something else?
Yes. Unlike the flu, the infected begin to show an increase in outwardly aggressive behavior. More than simple agitation. Once docile people become violent.
You mean like rabies? Is there a chance we could create a vaccine, Jonathan, like Pasteur? By the stove, that would be smashing.
There's a lot we're not seeing here. But it is spreading, and quickly. If we don't act, the whole city could be lost.
Чтоб крови собрал, ему все данных не
Jonathan,
хватает.
we have a fantastic opportunity sitting right here in front of us. A weapon of choice.
What on earth do you mean?
Why, you, my dear boy. With your expertise and your blood,
Да,
we
еще
could
ирония.
isolate the properties that course through your veins. Think about the possibilities.
But the risk of infection using vampire blood could compound the situation.
I know, but your blood now carries remarkable regenerative properties. With our minds and your blood, there's nothing we couldn't cure.
We'll discuss this more later. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Jonathan. But as I said, I needed to talk to you.
Как он еще за этим разговором не забыл о том, что хотел сказать.
Yes?
I'm afraid it's your sister.
My sister?
She's to be buried this evening at Whitechapel Cemetery. Your mother published the obituary this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Please accept my condolences.
Теперь бы быстрым шагом валим на кладбище, так как многое предстоит успеть.
I never thought I would have to attend my murdered sister's funeral. Mary, I can't forgive myself. I'll find the truth about what happened to us. I swear.
Как же убого он бегает. По крайней мере, в ближайшее время нас ждет немного экшена. Ничего, у меня такое ощущение, что Коля несколько тормозят. Точнее, не Коля, а копия. Это несколько напрягает. Да, я вообще уже бегу. Фу ты, черт. Все-таки мне противопоказано играть в несколько игр одновременно. Не оборачивайся, зараза. Нет, чтоб мирно стоять, смотреть в другую сторону. Взял, все испортил. Интересно, в момент применения копий урон по мне проходит или нет? Если проходит, это несколько проблематично. Ты ж зараза. Временами здесь сцена явно не для слабонервных. Точнее, не для терпеливых. Еще и наоборот. Пока что-либо произойдет. Кстати, где-то здесь должна быть наша аллея славы. Все-таки меня могут атаковать. Я начинаю сомневаться, что хорошей идеей было получить копье вместо когтей. Только не оборачивайся. Ну вот, могил сломал. Еще и сюда залез. Не, все-таки надо менять копье на что-нибудь пополезнее. Пока его применишь, 10 раз замотят. Так что ты будешь делать? Могли бы что-нибудь после себя и оставить. Правильно, ори громче, привлекай внимание. Да можешь уже и не орать.
Are you all right?
Вообще незачем ночью по кладбищу шататься.
Who were those people? They wanted to kill me. Why?
They've lost their minds in the epidemic. They won't come back for now.
You seem to know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm investigating this disease.
I am Shaoshun. Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reed. I must go to the cemetery now. Goodbye.
It's locked. Carnage. Is Father Whittaker... This man's far too old to be Samuel. No.
Что же здесь такое происходило?
His clothes, this man's a docker.
Не меньше вопрос, что среди этого всего делает та тетка.
Samuel isn't here. I had better follow the blood trail.
Как-то это все подозрительно.
As I
Надеюсь, там тут рога не
Samuel
пообломают.
no longer preaches his word.
У меня начинает складываться ощущение, что количество затрачиваемого на удар стамины растет вместе с количеством стамины. Все время что-то не хватает. Мне вот интересно, они эти ребятки спалили того солдатика из больницы? Уж очень много совпадений. Вообще к этому товарищу очень много вопросов.
Since I can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony.
I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father, the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Why kill my Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place?
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic, madam.
Oh, Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
Oh, Mary. What have I done?
Если опустить подробность, ты покушал.
If I could only change one thing. One thing. This is a nightmare.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do but accept it.
What brings you here?
I thought you could use the company. I am so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
A vampire, crying over the death of a loved one. It sounds like a bad joke.
No, Jonathan. She was your sister. And the pain of her death, the hunger that killed her, will stab at you for years. It's important to cry for those you love.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with this. You must learn to live with what happened.
I'm learning. Every night is a new lesson. What I am, what I must do to survive. But my sister, she shouldn't have suffered because of my weakness.
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary's forgiveness, if you must.
You may be right.
Of course. I've stared upon this world for centuries. And time has taught me to deal with guilt, if not erase it.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there and make your peace.
Какое себе дело
Find the
посылать вампиров
solace
в
you
церковь?
need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
бы закопали. Вообще как-то представляется, как картина, запираешься ты в церковь. И так непринужденно. Здравствуйте, я вампир. Прям какой-то клуб анонимных алкоголиков получается. Правда, пьют они не совсем то. Не нравится мне этот звук. Не говоря уже о месте. Что действительно со временем раздражает, то что через определенное время игры игра начинает несколько подвисать. С каждым разом все больше. На ресурсы нам явно пока не везет. Собственно, не так уж и много мы собираем. Я думаю, что это стучит.
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft
тебя
and
спросить
pointy
забыл.
crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion. Shed your skin, forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon.
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
Ты самоуверен.
These immortals try my patience with their plans and
Хотя помочь им,
unsolicited
конечно,
counsel.
придется. Извините. Мне кажется, адресом ошибся. Еще не лучше. Опять не лучше, я ошибся. Становится все хуже и хуже. Особенно с того момента, как стамина закончилась. Мне кажется, или там снизу что-то есть. Могли бы побольше по себе оставить. Как-то так скромненько.
Hello, sir. Sorry to disturb you at this hour. I'm a doctor inquiring about the epidemic. May I come in?
A doctor, you say? No, thank you.
All
Я
right.
вот странновато.
I shan't insist.
Я всегда говорю, что район весьма-таки неприветлив. Что-то мне кажется, что я сейчас на что-нибудь напарюсь. Собственно, вот на него. Да что ты будешь делать? Прикольный навык. Хрясь и спину сломали. Жаль, только он неэффективен. Черт. Такой навязчивый.
This man stunned me with his crucifix. This is not good
Кто мне
news.
подскажет, что в меня стреляют. Похоже, у него здесь своя атмосфера. Я даже не могу понять, с кем он тут воевал все это время. Такая себе компенсация за причиненный ущерб. Вообще в последнее время я все чаще и чаще оцениваю бои в играх с точки зрения материального ущерба.
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
It was an accident. A terrible, terrible accident.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
I feel responsible. The pain is consuming me.
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What would you like her to know?
I'm so sorry, Mary. I promise to find who is responsible for all this. I'll put an end to this horror.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
Whatever happened on this dock is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all. Good evening, Mr. Whittaker.
It's Father Whittaker, my son. So, are you still lost in your rational delusions?
Как же хочется его сожрать. Но нет. Кстати, где-то я успел накосячить.
I have found Samuel, your disciple. I am afraid I have bad news.
I already expected the worst. He should already have come back. He is dead, isn't he?
Yes, he is now. The epidemic took him.
Samuel steadily made donations to our cause. He would have rewarded you himself if you'd found me in that awful cemetery. Please accept this money.
Tobias Whittaker, confess why you burnt those people alive.
I have done what no one was ready to do. I will smite the flesh of the unclean to protect the righteous.
You are just another heartless murderer, exploiting the epidemic to kill with impunity.
No! No. The only way to contain the spread is to strike at the source itself. The proliferating sick.
You're not the savior of London. You're just a glorified sadist.
I take no pleasure in this awful cleansing, Dr. Reed. I am only driven by the thousands of innocents I save each night.
Why did you send Samuel to the cemetery, Tobias? What did you see there?
I sent him on a vision. A dream of a dreadful and laughing queen covered with blood. Sleeping with the dead and feeding on the fear of the dying.
A laughing queen dressed in blood. Tell me more.
This epidemic is her feast, the announcement of her return. Against her, science is no more than a child's toy.
But who is she?
She is the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. She is Babylon, drunk on the blood of the saints.
Помешан.
Why did you send Samuel to the cemetery, Tobias? What did you see there?
I sent him on a vision. A dream of a dreadful and laughing queen covered with blood. Sleeping with the dead and feeding on the fear of the dying.
По-моему, об этом только что разговаривали.
Good evening, Mr.
It's Father Whit.
Your disciple, Samuel, stole from the dead in Stonebridge Cemetery. I have proof of his crime and proof of his death.
No! Samuel was the best of us. So devoted. so zealous. He gave all he had for the cause. He tirelessly preached the good word.
Да неужели?
He defiled the dead with his petty thefts. That's how he financed your misguided crusade.
Think what you will. When this city is saved, he will be praised for his devoted fortitude. He walked boldly into the mouth of abomination.
Your precious Samuel used you. He was an immoral crook.
If that's true, then he will be my burden to bear during this endless night.
Ну и что действительно бесконечное. По крайней мере для нас.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Жалко, конечно, что мы 200 потеряли. Будет не так вкусно. Теперь надо каким-то образом возвращаться в больницу. Надеюсь, театр разбежал. Что за люди? Так и норовят тыкнуть своим факелом. Что за... Это слишком упорная закуска. Никак никогда не успеют отбиваться. Что-то когда я использую когти, их парализует. А обычно так они никак не влияют. Зачем я это использую? Мне вот все равно не работает. Все-таки мне не казалось, что это... Этот товарищ явно будет пофигистом. Тут такая бойня прошла, он как стоял, копался в своей мусорке, так и копался до последнего. Надо было так обозвать, да?
Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
This is your doing. You made me this creature.
Судя по рогам олень.
I am the land. You
Да у нас история не про то.
Riddles and rhymes. You took my life. Now you insult my mind.
Be stilled, my child. I bring understanding.
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave.
Будто он что-то объяснил им.
So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
Тут кто-то определенно повеселился. Я, конечно, знаю, кто. Че подозреваю.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCullum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned.
Ковер, конечно, очень весомый аргумент. С ним уже не поспоришь. Если ковры красные, то это не так сильно беспокоит. Собственно, какого здесь цвета ковер, вообще сложно сказать.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Very well. I'll help you.
Jonathan, please. I can't rely on anyone else. And this concerns you as it involves vampires. Someone has taken advantage of our more liberal tendencies here.
In what way?
Jonathan, I may turn my head when you or her ladyship indulge, but I will not allow this place to become a nest for street feeders.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man?
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Интересно, как он умудрился заразиться только.
you really believe they would come for us here? In such a public venue?
McCullum is a fanatic. The guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr.
Что мы
Hampton
прекрасно
here,
знаем.
I will put an end to this.
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of... his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks. What on earth happened here?
Веселая довольно-таки картина. Вот, собственно, я про него говорил. Не его ли священник умудрился подпалить? Уж очень подходит под описание.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room, then ran away.
Как ты это видела?
And did you see all this?
No. I was working by the tents when it all happened. I only entered the room when they asked me to clean up the blood.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but... well, maybe it was him.
Where is Miss Jones's body?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue. It all happened so quickly.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Немного от нее пользы.
Oh, Jonathan. I cannot believe my eyes. Poor woman. Butchered by some savage scowl.
Аскаль ее убил.
Would you care to partake in this meal with me?
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent. For there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here
Я
for
только
you, Jonathan.
представляю себе эту картину. Лежит какая-нибудь бабулька помирающая. С одной стороны он присосался, с другой леди Эшбери. Прям романтика.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols or trying to enter religious buildings. Have you?
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes. It has happened to me.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Have you embraced this woman? Like the other patient, this Mr. Renfield?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life, unless they ask.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick and dying patients?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly, I'm starving.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you. but rather outdoing his master's bidding.
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
Thank you, my lady. I hope to see you again soon.
Жаль, было бы неплохо поболтать с этими ребятами. Ну и чё вы встали? Судя по свечению, должна быть
Hello
сцена.
again, Mr. Thatcher. Do you feel any better now?
Yes.
Mr. Thatcher, do you have a job?
Or I spent most of my time and energy just trying to forget.
I understand what you mean. I was a soldier too.
No. Nobody can truly understand what I've gone through.
Собственно, зачем я с ними сейчас разговариваю?
What happened?
I went by the canal after an argument with a friend. Got chased by these fucking wankers and had to fight my claustrophobia.
Why did you run? What was the reason for your argument?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital, but I can't stand being closed in. Makes me feel like I'm suffocating.
Tell me about your claustrophobia. Has anyone given you an official diagnosis?
That's what the bloody doctors said. But I don't want to go to a hospital to get checked again. I'll deal with it my own way.
Приехали. Опять проблемы с интернетом.
Oswald, why did you not go to the Pembroke Hospital to seek medical help?
I don't trust doctors. All they care about was their careers and processes. I won't be locked in any room again by anyone.
Your fear of being trapped is not going to go away by itself. You need professional help.
I've seen enough butchers in white coats to last a lifetime. Hospitals reek of chemicals and death. What I need is fresh air.
Do you want to talk about why you have this fear of being enclosed, Mr. Thatcher?
No, I really don't.
An irrational fear like yours is usually rooted in a specific event. Perhaps it would help to talk about it.
Well, Doctor, take a guess then, if you're so interested in my case.
When I rescued you, you expressed joy at seeing the sky again. So I'm inclined to believe you were trapped or buried somehow. Maybe during a shelling.
Jeez, you're good, Doc. You're really good.
Go on, please. Tell me more about it.
Newton and I were trapped in a circulation tunnel after an artillery attack. We were buried alive for several days, without ever knowing if we'd be found.
И как нашли?
Oswald, tell me about what happened when you were buried in that tunnel with Newton.
It was more than dark. It was black as pitch. Hours seemed like days, and days like months. Oh, the terror, the shameful thoughts. Lord have mercy.
Shameful thoughts. Tell me about them.
At some point, I don't remember which day, when I thought we'd never be rescued, that this would be our end, I thought about...
Say it, Mr. Thatcher. If you ever want to heal, you have to say it.
Yeah, I thought about what I could do to survive, just for a few more days. I thought about killing Newton. Killing and eating him. The man I fucking love.
Ну, тогда бы и стали ближе.
What you endured was
Раз ненадолго.
terrifying. It would have completely destroyed weaker men.
It did not destroy Newton.
Tell me about your true feelings for Newton.
I love him. I'm not ashamed to say it. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't imagine life without him.
I admire your honesty. It takes courage to stand up to society.
Мне интересно, как они пришли к таким мыслям.
Courage is what we needed in the trenches, looking death in the
Учитывая
face
всю их
every
историю.
day. I speak plain. I speak my mind.
Have you always been this
Тут,
straightforward?
скажем
All I
так, не
know is,
совсем-то и
before
любовь.
you saved me by the sewer, my only regret was I wouldn't be able to hold or kiss Newton again. I love him, that's all.
Why should you be ashamed?
I'm not, I said. But Newton sees it differently.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself. Hello again, Mr. Blight. I'm happy to see Mr. Thatcher is safe, for now.
I'm eternally grateful, Doctor. We were total strangers, and you helped us anyway.
Ну, можешь начать его отдавать.
Can't thank you enough,
Мне
sir.
деньги не помешают. Правда, я не знаю, зачем они тут вообще нужны.
What can you tell me about the war, Mr. Blight? If you want to speak about it, of course.
War was... Well, you know, sir. The stench of death everywhere. Your mates lying bleeding in the mud. Just praying to make it through and get home. Bloody nightmare.
I fought in France, too. I served as a field surgeon, but it was not uncommon to repel an assault, especially at night.
Yeah. The first time I was wounded, I had to protect the infirmary from hostiles. Twice.
Did you know Oswald Thatcher before the war?
No. We met in the battlefield. I think we're in the same boat to France. We've stuck together ever since.
How do you feel about Oswald Thatcher? You are more than friends, aren't you?
I love him. I love Oswald. We knew we wouldn't survive the war without each other.
И что я подтолкнуло к мысли, что это любовь.
Doctor.
What frightens you so much?
If people find out. Oswald says I'm ashamed, but it ain't that. It's more, well, you know, never thought I'd love a man.
Maybe a time will come when you'll not have to hide who you are. But for now, I can only advise caution.
I know, Dr. Reed. Oswald wouldn't survive behind bars. Wouldn't live long if we were separated.
What caused your phobia of rats, Newton?
It happened last year following an artillery attack. I was trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers. And there were rats.
Go on.
They started eating me as soon as I dozed. Gnawing at my ears, my fingers, lips. I couldn't move. Couldn't call for help.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies. Fucking vermin eating your flesh. Oswald. He found me and saved me.
Как ни погляди, их сближает только чувство благодарности.
You and Oswald were buried alive during the war. Tell me about it.
Yeah. It was last summer. A shell hit our trench and we were buried for a week.
Oswald seemed far more traumatized than you by the event.
It wasn't the first time it happened to me. Surviving it again gave me strength. You believe that?
How did you survive for a week?
Luckily for us, there were rations and water in the tunnel. It was an outpost, see? Since then, Oswald's not keen on being inside for too long.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself. Hello again, Mr. Blight.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Не этого я хотел.
Goodbye, Mr.
Давай быстрее уж. И, конечно, не эталон тормознутости, но тоже весьма-таки нерасторопный. Даже как-то припомню, в какой-то игре такое было. Что можно было заснуть, пока NPS хоть что-то сделает. Ну и что? Может, что-то идет не так. По крайней мере, с одним из них.
It's locked.
Вы издеваетесь? Я бы сказал, кто они после этого, но воздержусь. Да, я думаю, вы и сами об этом уже не раз подумали. Эй, чего я сюда-то побежал? Мне надо определенно секретное местечко. Что ты меня всякой фигней-то тычешь? Где ваша культура? Все-таки в Лондоне живем. Черт, тут же этот дебил с крестом сейчас будет. Не кричи. И этого тоже не делай. Ты не говоришь, что они меня заметили. А вот, собственно, и послание суицидника.
In this letter, Mortimer Goswick does nothing to hide his desire to die. I could give it to his mother, but doing so would betray his trust.
Тормознутость тут работает, да? Могло бы быть и побольше. Почему они не подумали дать мне ключ? Вдруг я бы захотел поковыряться в их сейфе. Пора бы уже поторопиться. Сколько же их тут?
This is no place for you.
Да еще и компашка весьма неприятная. Почему стамина всегда заканчивается в самый неудачный момент? Слушай, да чё, театрально они умирают? А куда он делся? Что же у них за мания-то как в людей стрелять? Вообще складывается такое ощущение, что от их рук гибнет куда больше, чем от эпидемии. Эдакие обезьяны с гранатой.
Good evening, sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you see I'm busy here?
Dr. Jonathan Reed, that's who I am. And who are you?
Ah, some fancy gentleman we've got here. Clear off.
Все
We don't
невежливые
want
ребята.
strangers on our streets.
So you won't tell me your
Вам
name?
приветливый.
Name is Booth Digby. Maybe I'll ask my boys to break one or two of your bones, just so you remember it.
Хотелось бы, конечно, вот этих вот ребяток попереубивать.
What can you tell me
Но
about
что-то
this
мне
part of
подсказывает, что с ними не
Things
все
ain't
так
that
уж и
bad,
просто.
thanks to us. We give
Ведь
people
они
what they
бандиты.
need, and we control this borough.
Well, you're not doing a very good job. People are still dying here, like everywhere else.
Yeah, well, we can't be everywhere all the time. And Edwina says if we can find more guns, we could be more efficient.
More efficient? Really?
Хотя, может, тогда
You
Джо
should
станет
probably tell
главарем.
Edwina that guns are useless against diseases and infections.
Incredible. You know what? You're lucky she can't hear
И они
you right
попросту
now.
посыплются.
She's more smart than patient. My sweet queen of the docks.
Are you some kind of vigilante patrolling these streets at night?
Something like that, but the police aren't in charge here. We are, see?
So, tell me about your gang, then.
What? Have you got a death wish? You really want me to answer that?
Well, yes. You seem so proud of your status. Why not tell me who you're working for?
Oi! I'm the boss, all right? The wet boot boys work for me. All
Да
of them.
неужели?
Situation round here is better than other districts because of us. Because of me.
So you're a concerned criminal, is that it?
Using funny jokes about me and my boys, are you? Fuck. You must have some balls.
I saw many men like you during the war, Mr. Digby. Greedy little cockroaches who feed on despair.
I could kill you for saying that. But, nah. You've been a soldier. I can respect that.
Do you know where I can find Sean Hampton? I need to talk to him.
The sad saint. Why on earth do you want to talk to him?
He was one of my patients at the Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, yeah. I heard the poor bastard had been abducted by some cunt. You better ask Tom Watts. He knows Shorthampton well.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. May I ask you a few questions?
Who are you? What do you want?
As I just told you, I'm a doctor. From the Pembroke Hospital, actually.
The Pembroke Hospital, you say? I don't have any money for you leeches.
I'm not here for charity, Miss...
Miss Edwina Cox. So what do you want then? Fancy buying something from me, maybe?
Вообще, мне складывается ощущение, что не ее муж был сволочью, а она.
You still use your husband's name, Edwina. Why is that?
Why shouldn't I? He may be a bloody bastard, but I'm still his wife, and his name means something round here.
Are you aware of what happened to him?
Yes. I'm sure he fought till the end and looked death in the eyes. The boys will mourn him. Except one of them, maybe.
Можно сказать так.
What can you tell me about your work?
I'm a businesswoman. I buy and sell things, and I send my wet boot boys after anyone who don't play nice with me.
Gang member and shopkeeper. Can't be easy running double shifts.
If you're interested, I may find use of a doctor who can freely walk across the city, you know.
Воздержусь.
You're quite blunt, aren't you?
I like people who know what they want and say what they think. This is a time of great opportunity for those ready to embrace their destiny.
Мне начинает казаться, что со всеми этими диалогами я так не
I'm not
дойду до
interested
нужного мне
in a
места.
career in the criminal underworld, Miss Cox.
Fair enough.
Ближайшие 40.
Stay away from us then, if you don't want to get hurt or worse.
Since my return from the war, I don't feel that concerned by threats, knives, or even bullets, if you must know.
That's exactly what that stupid trade unionist claimed after he attacked one of us. Booth and I reminded him a bullet beats words every time.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
You can't trust anyone around here. As soon as you lower your guard, you can be sure some arsehole will take advantage of you.
Really? Don't you think that's a little bit excessive?
Bastards, all of them. This region only responds to violence and threats.
You sound like you're thinking of somebody in particular.
Take the gravediggers of Southwark. They must pay me every week, but it looks like they forgot who gave them permission to steal from the dead.
Looting corpses in a mass grave. That is a new low.
Whatever. Hey, since you're a doctor and all, maybe you can access that forbidden area and remind those bastards what they owe.
Booth Digby looks at you with love-struck eyes. Tell me, Edwina, is the feeling mutual?
You have no idea how refreshing it can be for a woman to receive all the pleasure she needs. For once.
I'll take your word for it.
What is it, Doctor? A woman's not supposed to talk about these things.
I believe you manipulated Booth Digby to get everything you wanted from him. Both inside and outside the bedroom.
The poor bastard is good to me, if you must know. He makes me feel good. And that's a first.
So you're just like any other couple.
Мне начинает казаться, что северный вариант всегда прячется где-то снизу. Уже который раз так.
Tell me about the man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
And your conscience is clear. You kill without hesitation.
Violence is an efficient tool, Dr. Reed, when used properly.
So you decide who lives and who dies, just like that.
Yes, Doctor. Just like that. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's my way of dealing with troublemakers.
What happened exactly?
I don't know, and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard, but he didn't brag for long.
So you have no idea what really happened, but you executed him anyway.
No one messes with the wet boot boys, Doctor. This is our territory, and this is our law.
Хорошо, но я у него даже спрашивать не буду.
Not a drop of blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire.
A vampire? Whatever do you mean?
Ведь не я, если что.
I'm a tracker of these creatures. A vampire hunter.
You best be off to your hunting then. For if the sewer
Товарищ
dog is
Балабол,
back,
давайте побыстрее, я тороплюсь.
he needs to catch him.
A sewer dog? What's it look like?
It's an old story. A monster with daggers for teeth and icy claws. He comes of a sudden, nighttime, claiming innocence, then vanishes.
Teeth?
Перегибайте его палку.
Murders by night? Your sewer dog is my business. He's the kind of prey I hunt, milady. Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist. And they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton,
Куда
I'm
ближе, чем
Dr.
ты думаешь?
Jonathan Reed. I'd like to hear more about
Прям в
these
упор.
vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
Давай, порадуй меня.
How exactly are you protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual.
Ты ж те еще
I
не
try and
сожалеешь.
encourage people to stay indoors, but people are careless.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then
Забавное
I can
предложение.
focus on my patrols.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Oh boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
Have you heard of the Guard of Priwen?
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
Ты так можешь полгорода пронаблюдать.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm more of a silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
Не, я с этим балаболом действительно до места не дойду. Пора
I'm looking for
закругляться с
Sean
ними.
Hampton. Can you help me, Mr. Throgmorton?
The sad saint? He should be at his night asylum at this hour. But I cannot tell you how to find him, sorry.
Really? Why is that?
It's nothing personal, Doctor. I'm sure your intentions are good, but people who sleep there, they have plenty of reasons to hide.
Maybe at least you can tell me who could help me find him.
Tell you what, go and chat with Tom Watts. He's a bartender and good judge of character. If he talks to you, then it's fine by me.
I could make you tell me, but I respect your refusal. You really believe Sean is a saint, don't you?
All I will say is this. Gossip has it that when he was a child, he was molested. By a priest of all people. Funny thing is, though, it only strengthened his faith.
Оно еще и полым путем передается. Зашибись.
Goodbye. And good hunting, Mr. Throckmorton.
Вообще над этим моментом много как можно посмеяться. Только боюсь, многие это не оценят.
Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, sir. How are you tonight? Back to the docks, are we?
You remember me then?
Of course I do. You're that man who seemed so lost when he entered my bar a few nights ago.
Thank you for your hospitality. I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way.
I'm still Tom Watts. Welcome back, Doctor.
Sabrina seems very fond of you, Tom.
I like her too. I really do. I know I'm her boss, and I'm much older and all. But I like her, for sure.
What is bothering you, then?
Sabrina is an angry one. She wears it like a coat. I'm not sure I can make her shed that anger. It hurts to see her like that.
How is it you can keep this place open? This part of town doesn't seem particularly safe.
Well, since everybody needs a drink, my pub is considered neutral ground by most groups.
Since I'm here, is there anything I can do?
Well, perhaps, Doctor. Peace partly depends on my stock of gin. With the epidemic, my supplies are running low.
How could a physician help you in this matter?
I have a small warehouse just past the quarantine line. Perhaps, with you being a doctor, you could go there and come back?
Doctors aren't immune to disease, you know. Very well.
Ну, доктора, может, и не застрахованы от вампира очень даже.
Here's the key to get in. You're a dry throat.
You're something of a figurehead around here.
I'm only pouring alcohol for everyone to forget their troubles. Sean Hampton is the one giving them long-term hope.
I see. So you get pressure from all sides about how this place should be run, do you?
Well, something like that. Nothing that a few wise words and a bottle of gin can't solve.
Бастильным в другой раз,
Tom,
пожалуй.
I need to find Sean Hampton as quickly as possible. I've been told you could help me.
I heard the sad saint was recovering at Pembroke Hospital. Did he leave or something?
Уже не лечится.
The important thing is I find him, quickly.
Why not try his night asylum? He takes care of those who need a meal or a roof there.
Where is it?
It's in an old warehouse, northwest of here. Just follow the bank to the west and go north when you reach the end of the pier.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
Are they stupid or something?
Пожалуй, было бы неплохо сейчас немного качнуться. Заодно удивиться тому, что никто не обратил внимания на нашу телепортацию. Не знаю зачем, но все же качну этот навык. И 15-й левел, не сказать, чтобы сильно был нам полезен сейчас. Хотелось бы, конечно, куда больше. Но мы столько не едим. Ощущение, кого-то забыл вылечить. Ну, тут все идет весьма-таки неплохо. Так, куда я там должен идти? Я бы сказал, недалеко, но учитывая все преграды, мы туда не скоро доберемся. Как говорится, не обращайте на меня внимания. Я просто пройду мимо. Кстати, будет посложнее. И, скажем так, не дружелюбный. Ну, хотя бы мои навыки несколько напрягают. Хоть у меня их не пальба. Извините, но жарко я не заказывал. Да и шашлык тоже. Это не надо. Да как же ты задолбал. И не только ты, собственно. Да не тычь ты в меня факелами-то, а? Ну неприлично так поступать. Так помереть недолго. Так, хватит в меня факелом уже тыкать, тварь. Что меня реально раздражает, то что NPS, как ни старайтесь, доминируют над игроком. Им позволяют вообще все.
The wounds on this corpse are deep, the result of rabid rage. If this is Sean's doing, he's become a murderous beast.
Ще бы кого-нибудь попить. Такое себе место. Лучше-то и не становится. Ну, хотя бы лимит мы немного пробили.
This poor man has just been slaughtered by a vampire. The body's still warm.
Будьте добры, не обращайте на меня внимания. Хотя мне сложно не заметить. Кстати, у меня сложилось впечатление, что охотники тут куда сильнее противников. Хотя бы свое здоровье мы себе вернули. Уже меньше головной боли. Стоит как-нибудь докострять до места. Да так, чтобы нам не накостыляли. Вообще так временами бегаешь, и начинает казаться, что по сравнению с этим городом лабиринт Минотавра отдыхает. Даже не стоит пытаться сравнивать. Где ты это видел уже? У них действительно водичкой лечат. Собственно, от разговора с здешними балаболами мы пока воздержимся. Ой, нет, хотел увидеть. Вы издеваетесь?
Why the long face, Doctor?
Да кто бы говорил?
It looks like we both have changed a lot. I must confess, it saddens me, Sean.
Put your faith in the Lord, Doctor. He has a plan for all of us. We may not always see it, but he does.
Since you left Pembroke, the amount of blood that has been shed, it's hard to believe you, Sean.
Ask what you will. As the Lord is my shepherd, I will not speak a lie to you.
Aren't you afraid of what you've become?
We are blessed, Doctor. Can't you see it? The Lord has made us able to walk amongst the plague and aid those that need it.
But you must drink blood now to survive.
No, not your scripture. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood hath eternal life.
Мне
I
кажется,
will
его
raise
руки
him up at the
кровища.
last day. So saith the Lord. I
Просто
only
мне
need to
кажется.
eat flesh, no blood.
Do you think this is a blessing when
вообще-то как
God's own
неплохо.
house and holy symbols repel you?
If that is your burden, Doctor, so be it. But I do not fear the cross, nor am I forced to take the life of another. My kind doesn't share your imperfections.
Why return here?
This is my home. These people are my flock. You will always find me where I am needed.
Wonders never cease. Scal managing an asylum.
And what of you? A vampire doctor? Meals laid out before you. Yet you restrain.
And what about William Bishop? He tried to take care of you. But this hunger, this thirst, cannot be restrained.
Alas, poor William. He had a good soul, but was weak in spirit. He could not shake the thirst for booze, never mind blood. But have faith. My will is far stronger than his.
Why did you kill Miss Jones at the Pembroke Hospital?
Killed old Harriet? You must be mad, Doctor. Why would I do such a thing?
So you claim Miss Jones' death was not by your hand, nor the other incidents at Pembroke?
Though Harriet was an angry, spiteful woman, she was one of
Кстати, я
God's
совсем забыл
creatures.
поговорить
I have
с тем
nothing but
парнем из
love for
морга.
all he has made.
But you were close to
Вообще
her.
довольно удивительно, что его обвиняли в убийстве, несмотря на то, что трупа никто и не видел.
She did not see the hand of the divine in my blessed condition.
People have been murdered. I've seen the blood. I don't believe you can be trusted.
Have a little faith, Doctor. If you will follow, I will guide you to the light.
How do you plan to do that?
Take this key of the old sewers. The entrance is by the riverbank, south from here. There you'll find all the proof you need.
Very well. You have definitely intrigued me. I hope you're right, Sean.
I'll be here when you return. If you still think I'm a threat then, well, I'll surrender myself to your judgment.
В любом случае было бы глупо судить главу района. Уж очень велик ущерб. Кто он здесь такой разговорчивый? И черт. Да не он один. Так, ладно, проще забить, чем попасть. Что я здесь пытался сделать-то? Ну, собственно, вот что я хотел. Конечно, в первую очередь было бы неплохо обшмонать данное место. Невеликая потеря.
It's locked, all right.
Мне вот прям весь в сомнениях, стоит ли мне с ними сейчас поговорить. Собственно, почему бы и нет, чтобы не тратить время на это потом. Хоть от какой-то части болтовни мы избавимся.
Good evening, sir. My name is Giselle Paxton. But I don't have time for men like you.
Have we met before?
No.
Я тоже
I
рад
just need
вас
to look at
видеть.
your fancy clothes to know that you must be desperate to visit the docks at night.
That's quite judgmental of you.
Sir, I've led enough strikes when I had a job to identify you as an enemy of the working class.
А может, ты их просто рисуешь для себя? Такой себе хавчик.
Giselle, I know you sleep at Shornhampton's shelter. What can you tell me about him?
He provided a roof for me and my sister. I am grateful, of course, but he gives me the creeps.
Why is that?
He's always sad, like he's about to cry. He's always asking us to get closer to God, to give ourselves to the Lord. Creepy.
Да, жутковато.
What can you tell me about this vicinity?
Tell you what, just spend a few weeks here, and then ask me that question again. If you're still alive, I mean.
You don't know me, Miss Paxton, and yet you see me as an enemy.
Your manners, your clothes, your words tell me everything about you, sir. I know your kind, and you don't belong here.
Oh no, Miss Paxton, you really don't know my kind. You have no idea who I am.
All right, okay. No need to get all worked up.
If you have something to say, say it. I'm getting tired of all this.
Oh. You want information instead? Well, here's some for you. Giselle Paxton does not like you at all, Doctor.
May I ask what you do for a living?
I'm killing myself scraping for a living. And you? Have you ever had to struggle in your entire life?
Не, конечно, понимаю, что врачи балду пинают целыми днями, но не до такой же степени.
Why such hatred? Are you judging me by my clothes
Вообще,
and my job?
первый человек, которого бы не стоило лечить вообще.
You don't even see your privilege. Lazy people like you disgust me.
As I told you, I'm a doctor. You have to work a lot to earn that title.
Oh, a doctor. Born with money in a nice house, were we? Was Daddy a banker or a doctor himself?
You speak of strikes and class enemy. Am I right to assume you're involved in trade union activism?
You bet I am. Well, I was. Nowadays, I'm just another worker blacklisted by the big companies.
You lost your job because of your beliefs.
Those bastards really hate a worker who refuses slave wages and unsafe conditions, especially when it's a woman.
Isn't the whole point of trade unions to help workers in need? Why don't they support you?
A few nights back, I lost the money my companions had asked me to hide. With me and my sister being penniless, they thought I stole it.
What really happened?
I drank too much that night. Strange men saw me count the money in that bar. Some sort of militia in uniform. I'm sure they robbed me.
Giselle, tell me about the death of your mother.
After our father died, Mother worked so hard she made herself sick. We spent all the money we had on useless drugs and doctors. It was hell.
Hell? What do you mean?
The three of us were exhausted and desperate. And when I'm desperate, I tend to get angry. And I'm hard to live with. Lottie said I killed Mother.
Your sister was suffering too. I'm sure she didn't mean what she said.
I don't want to talk about that. It was years ago. We Paxton sisters are tough. We don't apologize.
Well, I'll leave you for now. Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Где там вторая была?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Can I help you?
A fancy doctor lurking at night by the docks? Not fishy at all.
And what about you? Working outside at night in this dangerous part of town?
You want to know my secret? I'm trying to earn money. And I'm Lottie Paxton, by the way.
Да, мы как бы уже и в курсе.
Is it not dangerous to work here at night?
As long as I have good legs, I can run away from trouble. The sad saint now provides me and my sister a bed and a roof. I don't want to lose that.
Are you homeless, Miss Paxton?
Mr. Hampton's night asylum is our new home now. It's a safe place for me and my sister.
What can you tell me about the sad saint?
It's just the nickname of Sean Hampton, the sad saint of the East End. He gave me shelter, and he is not always sad.
Да неужели?
What can you tell me about this place? How are things here?
It may be okay for a strong girl like me, but a dandy doctor from the city like yourself, you better watch your back, Mr. Reed.
Which local dangers must I avoid?
Well, the gangs, the thieves, the drunks, the jobless. A man with your fancy clothes will attract a lot of attention.
Well, I am not someone so easily intimidated.
Glad to hear that. And if you get into trouble, you can always seek help at Shornhampton's shelter. No one would dare to be violent there.
You really think I should go back to a safer place, miss?
No. I think you had better stay and help as many people as you can. Just avoid the wet boot boys. Those bastards are worse than the epidemic.
Она нам сказала.
Tell me about the death of your mother.
Giselle killed her. Plain and simple. She killed her with her daily whims, her laziness, and her complaints.
That's quite a statement. You can't kill someone because you're fickle.
Mother was very ill. But I forgave Giselle. What I couldn't stand was how she cried at her funeral like she was the one left alone.
Perhaps your sister is not as tough as you are.
I know that, and I don't blame her. It just makes me sad that my own sister is the person I understand the least.
Giselle is the only family you have left. Don't you think it's time you forgave her?
Sometimes words are harder to forgive than acts, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Теперь понять, есть выход. Знакомое лицо, однако.
It's locked.
Еще одни пустышки разложены. Могли бы хотя бы для вида в них напихать.
I can't protect the whole city. It's hard enough to cover the docks by myself.
Собственно, на этом моменте мы уже и закончим. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Пока.